all the games for the next NFL season are set. But now what's next? I mean, we have the draft. We have the NFL schedule release. They spaced them out by a good 3.5 weeks there. So now what do we do for the next 3-4 months? Baseball,
Yeah, I mean, it feels
cricket.
like possibly, yeah, get into, I don't know, some bocce ball or something really exotic.
I mean, I love how the NFL finds a way to keep us all talking about it until this point, and then it's just training camp type stuff and stuff no one really cares
Exactly.
about.
Nothing, it feels like nothing exciting will happen until preseason.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, most likely, unless there's some big crazy trade that happens. But yeah, we're going to review the NFL schedule, recap it, talk about the biggest games to look out for. But first, we're going to recap a little bit more of the progression of the NBA playoffs here, recap our predictions, and get into some more predictions.
Yeah, I like it. So round 2, it kind of have some mixed feelings about it. Because at first I thought it was going exactly according to plan.
Yeah.
And for a little bit, I mean, it kind of did, because we predicted the exact number of games that every single series would.
That's kind of crazy.
The number of games. So
what are the chances?
Yeah, exactly. So for example, OKC and Dallas, we said would end in Game 6, and it did. But I said OKC would win, and instead Dallas won. But I said that Minnesota and Denver would go to Game 7, and it did. Boston and Cleveland would end in Game 5, and it did. And the Pacers and Knicks would also end in Game 7, which it did, which is pretty wild.
That is crazy.
Yeah. 2 that we missed, though. The one that was really, really frustrating is Minnesota and Denver. You actually... Oh, no, you missed this one as well. We both had Denver here, bro. We both had Denver.
Were they up 15.5 or something?
I think they were, yeah, in the game last night on Sunday.
Yeah, right, the deciding game.
Yeah, and they were doing so well, and suddenly just Minnesota just comes out of nowhere, stages a nice comeback, and they end up winning the game. I think it was 98-90. And that was after an absolutely dominant performance in Game 6 so they went down 3-2 in the series after Game 5. And so in Game 6, they blew out they blew out Denver by 45.
That's ridiculous.
I think
what happened to Denver?
Dude, they just decided to, I don't know, they sent Jokic back to Serbia for the day, and he was just riding on his horses or something.
Yeah, I mean, that was an embarrassing showdown over the last 2 games for Denver.
Yeah, I think it was the worst loss of the playoffs so far by 45 is crazy.
It has to be. I mean, that's even bad for regular season.
I know.
Uncommon.
I mean, the Nuggets to only put up 70 is unprecedented.
It's really laughable. Their collapse here.
It is, yeah. And I saw, I think they yanked, their starters towards, the fourth quarter or whatever.
It's understandable. Probably contributed to the discrepancy.
Yeah, and I was seeing all of these videos of, Jokic standing on the sideline just, watching and glaring, at the Timberwolves players. He was so angry at the end of Game 6, and I just thought he was going to be so fired up for Game 7 that there was no way that Denver was possibly going to lose.
Go out there and make things right from the couple nights before.
Dude, exactly. That's exactly how I felt about it. So I was shocked when Denver ended up losing that game. But good for Minnesota. This is, the first time that they've made it this far in the playoffs for a really long time. And they've got some good talent this year, so I'm excited for them.
Yeah, I feel like now they might have one of the better odds to win it all. I mean, they are really talented. I feel like it's going to be either them or
Boston, I'm sure.
I feel like you kind of have to go with Boston
you
here.
Do.
So
you absolutely do, yeah.
We'll see, though. It's very captivating. I'd say that's one of the more exciting games that you'll see that big comeback.
Oh, dude, for sure. So just to give a little bit more of a recap for round 2. So Boston and Cleveland. So Boston beat Cleveland by 7 in Game 5 and 15 in Game 6, making it the shortest series of the round 2 playoffs. Only went to Game 5, and Boston advances to the Eastern Conference Finals. The series, like we said, went pretty much exactly how we imagined it here. Cleveland just couldn't keep up with this electric Boston offense, and they couldn't do anything against them. Boston easily coasts on through to the finals, and they will be facing the Pacers in round 3. And then the one we didn't touch on yet here, Dallas and OKC. So this is the one I really got wrong here. I thought OKC is the 1 seed. They've got a lot of talent. They had the second best record in the regular season. They've got a good shot to win the finals, and I thought that they had what it takes to take down Dallas here in the playoffs. But unfortunately, that team is only Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He has no support from anyone else. I mean, the guy's a monster. He's just a stud, putting up 30-plus points in every single game. But there's no one else on the team who's even no one else is even putting up like 20-plus. It's maybe like just some single digits and like a couple teens.
Like, yeah, all they're asking for is just one guy to do something besides
exactly
him. And it's kind of what we were talking about last week. I mean, he can't just go out there every game. And same kind of thing with Jalen Brunson. They just can't hold the whole team on their back.
I know.
It's not sustainable.
Yep, and it cost them here. They ended up losing 4-2, and basically the, pretty poor fashion here that they couldn't even push it to Game 7, and especially as a 1 seed. So a little embarrassing there for OKC, but good for Dallas. I mean, they are a really solid team, and PJ Washington continued to shine in these playoffs, so great for him for really putting himself out there. Now, the next one here, I guess kind of the last one because we already touched on Minnesota and Denver, but the Pacers, bro. Let's talk about the Pacers.
Our Pacers, baby.
How do you feel about this? Them making it to Game 7.
I'm just happy that
winning.
There's that positive cash out now we've been talking about for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
No one believed in us. There's all that Jalen Brunson talk, all the Knicks talk. Here come the Pacers. They blew those first 2 games. This honestly could have just been like a straight sweep had they not blown the leads in those first 2 games.
You're absolutely right, bro. 100%. And so, they even went down 3-2 in this series to the Knicks. They win another one. And, sorry, my Siri just went off here. But they win Game 6. And then they won Game 7 too. So sorry, I think I misspoke there. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
The Pacers lost Game 5 by 30. They just kind of shut down. But then so that's when they went down 3-2.
Saving it.
Exactly. They won Game 6 by 13, and they absolutely dominated Game 7, bro. They had a 21-point win here to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals.
That's awesome.
Jalen Brunson ended up breaking his hand in the game.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
Jeez.
So not good for Brunson, but I mean that is almost like we've been talking about when you play so many minutes in the game and just the whole team is on your back.
He's just laying it all out there for his team. I mean, we said that they maybe should have sat in one of those earlier games, decided not to, and this is kind of what happened. Yeah,
but of course, hope he has a speedy recovery. Wouldn't want to wish an injury on anyone.
I'm sure he'll be fine. Yeah, and doesn't have any more games to play this year.
Exactly. Tough end to the season for the Knicks, but good for the Pacers making it to the finals here, and I'm excited to see how they do against Boston. I think we can both offer a couple round 3 predictions here.
For sure.
I hate to say it, but I'm going to be taking Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals here.
Yeah, I don't see anyone being Boston except for maybe Minnesota later on, so I'm also going to go 4-2 Boston.
Yep, that's exactly what I have, 4-2 here. I think the Pacers will get a couple wins in, but their offense is so electric that I really feel that they'll be able to muster up like a 120-plus, 130-plus point performance in there in order to snag a win or 2. But Boston just feels too dominant to me to be able to lose this entire series.
Too suffocating.
Yeah, but who knows? I mean, there could be a situation like the Heat and Boston faced last year, and Boston could lose.
Yeah, maybe Boston just can't get down the playoffs, but I feel like they'll at least make it to the finals here. They'll make it past the Pacers.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there. And then finally, we've got Dallas Mavericks against Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm going to take Dallas to win this one in Game 7. Really like what I saw out of Dallas against OKC. I think they're going to be able to do the same against Minnesota. However, it looks like you have Minnesota here also going to Game 7, though.
I'm going to take Minnesota here in Game 7. I just think that they're kind of propelled by the momentum of this improbable victory over the Nuggets in that series.
Point. Yeah.
Everyone counted them out. Mm-hmm. Then they go ahead and blow the Nuggets out. I mean, the confidence that builds in those guys, what they just did to Dallas or what they just did to Denver. I think I'm not even convinced that Dallas is as good as Denver. So
Yeah, that's honestly a good point.
I
a
do
really
like
good point.
I like the Timberwolves here. I mean, they seem like Anthony Edwards is like the face, kind of the new face of the NBA, and I think this is their time to kind of rise to the occasion. I'm not confident they'll win in the finals against Boston, but right now I'm gonna take them to advance to it.
Yeah, I like the pick, dude. I like you said. I mean, this could really, just be a great series, and that it's going to go to Game 7. I feel like it's going to go to Game 7.
It's gotta be like I've either of these two series. The one that's more likely to go on to 7 games is this one.
Oh, dude, for sure.
Yeah. So I hope it does. I hope it's not something like fluky happens and we end up like a 4-2 or a 4-1 type of deal.
That would be absolutely wild. I really don't see that happening.
Yeah,
But unless there's like a major injury like Anthony Edwards going out, I don't foresee something like that happening.
I agree. So good stuff there. Now it's NFL schedule release time. Usually they release like a week earlier. I don't know why they pushed it back this year. Was very excited to see where all the games would land, what time, and all that good stuff. So we're going to go through some of the bigger games each week, highlight what you need to be on the lookout for. And before we get into that, I just kind of want to do some all-encompassing points here. There are 4 Monday double headers. People have mixed feelings on those. I don't mind them if they space the games out a little bit, but there's a couple in there where the next game starts just an hour after the first one.
Don't like those.
So I'm not big on that. Like I need it to be like 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock or 4 and 7, which I think a lot of times like during Thanksgiving and like other times where there's a couple games on like one day, that's how they space them out. So I'm really not sure the methodology behind the Monday double headers, but
I think it's normally like the holidays they'll space them out like the 4 and the 7, which is very nice and convenient for our schedule.
I love
since
it so much.
Yeah, since we're not working, but like on just a regular old Monday when people are still at work, they're probably not going to toss a 4 p.m. game on just because they wouldn't have many people watching it.
I hear you, and they can't do it too late because people won't stay up for it. But I don't know. Then just put a game on like a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like, why not do that?
Nothing wrong with a little Tuesday night football. Saying.
It's why I liked kind of the pandemic season, because you had games like sometimes on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Fridays just because they would get delayed from the testing and, positive, negative, all that good stuff. Netflix has some games on Christmas Day. First time ever, Netflix has some exclusive games. I'm not sure if there are any Peacock ones. I'm sure there probably are.
Oh, there definitely are, yeah.
But... yeah, I don't have Peacock, so I'm upset about that one. I don't mind the Netflix ones, though.
Are you just, like, absolutely banning or boycotting Peacock because your fantasy baseball team, the propitious Peacocks, are not so propitious this year?
Yeah, I mean, they did just have a big win, I will say, this past week, a little 7-3, but, yeah, no.
It sounds like it's a sign that you should maybe download it.
Maybe I'll get Peacock when the time comes, but there's just nothing else I know of on there that I would watch.
That's a good point.
That's the problem.
That's
like
fair.
At least with Netflix or HBO Max and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's other stuff. I mean, Disney Plus had a game last year. Remember when they like Toy Story-ified like that Jacksonville Falcons game? Yeah,
that was wacky. That was crazy.
Craziness. There's a game in Brazil this year. That's Friday night. The second game of the entire season, Packers and the Eagles down in Brazil.
Oh, wow. In week 1? I didn't realize it was that early.
Yeah. Chiefs-Ravens on Thursday night. Then you got Packers-Eagles down in Brazil, which is just crazy.
That's fire, man.
I know. I like it. I like that on the Friday. That's what I'm saying. Just space the games out more. So you have that. And then you have some revenge games in there. You have the Vikings and the Falcons going at it. So Kirk Cousins against his former team. You got Russell Wilson, the Steelers, visiting Denver, the Broncos, so there's another revenge game there. We don't get Baker Mayfield going back to Cleveland, nor Aaron Rodgers going back to Green Bay, but I do think at least one of those is in the cards for next year, assuming that those quarterbacks are still playing on their teams, which I'm pretty sure Baker will be.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, obviously, it depends a little bit more. So those are just kind of my overarching comments. It does look like a really good slate overall. Some of the Thursday night games look to be a bit improved, like average quality-wise, whereas last year, I mean, Browns-Jets, Steelers-Patriots, it was just garbo on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Do you want to just rip through some of the best games of the 2024 season? Or should we talk about the worst primetime games of the season, since we were talking about the kind of bozo games?
Might as well save the best for last.
Okay, yeah. So how about the worst primetime games of the season so far? At least we don't have to wait until week 7 to get a really crappy primetime game.
Thursday night football.
Yeah, Thursday night football. We got the Broncos at the Saints here. I'm not really sure that too many people are
See,
going to love this one.
I don't mind this one because
No?
it's Sean Payton against his former team,
Okay.
the head coach.
That's fair.
That's why it's primetime. Like,
Yeah.
solely for that purpose. Of course, Derek Carr also played the Broncos a ton, so there's a little bit of an element there.
But like Russ is gone now.
No, I know, but Bo Nix could be good. But yeah, no, this will be Saints. Like, Saints will blow them out of the water. I'm telling
Yeah.
you. Your best bet right now is Saints over 7.5 wins or whatever the total is. Bite it up to 10.5. I'm telling you, the Saints are going 11-7 this year.
11-7. That's kind of bold.
Or is it 11-6? Whatever. Yeah, it's 11-6 because 17 games.
Yeah, 11-6. I think that's still a little bold though. You must think
I
they're going to
love
win
it,
their
dude.
division.
I do. Absolutely. I love the Saints this year.
Okay.
Let's just, again, I've said this a billion times. If the Saints make a field goal against the Packers in like week 3, they would have made it all the way to the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. I'm serious.
That's true, yeah.
Because they would have then had the tiebreaker over Green Bay. So they would have been in the playoffs. Green Bay wouldn't have. They would have played the Philadelphia Eagles, which we all know they were Garbo at that point. I mean, Tampa Bay just rolled over them.
They had lost like 7
then
straight.
They would have advanced and they would have played Detroit. They probably could have beaten Detroit because let's remember they played like 6 weeks prior to the playoffs beginning. It was like a 35-28 affair. Like the Lions almost choked that one away. So they could have made it all the way, honestly, to the NFC Championship game. That's how hot they got last year.
Yeah, that's still a little bold. I'll give you the Eagles one, like that they would have probably beat the Eagles, but I don't know how certain I am they would have won against the Lions.
I would have preferred the Lions win. I probably still would have taken them, but it wouldn't have surprised me.
Okay. That's
But yeah,
fair.
no. That's not the worst Thursday night football game in the world.
Yeah. Well, then we've got the Giants and the Steelers, Week 8 Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not big on this one.
No, I need a game with the Giants, bro. The Giants are liable to be like the worst team in the league this year, so
Yeah.
I'm not liking anything that
Just
I see
feels
with them.
like two like classic brands.
Yeah.
The Giants, like just ancient, like historic type brands here.
Yeah. No, it does. It does. But they've got some, I don't know, just some interesting people on the Steelers now with the whole Russ versus Justin Fields action. So
Right.
this could be the week that they let Justin start.
Yeah. I believe in Russ for the whole year here.
Do you?
I do. I think he gets revenge on the Broncos as well.
Okay. Yeah, that could happen. All right, we've got the Falcons and the Raiders, Week 15, Monday Night Football. How do you feel about this one?
No, yeah, I'm good on this one as well. I think this should be an easy win for the Falcons, but honestly, the Raiders could be better than anticipated.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just going to depend on how well the Falcons' quarterback is this year.
Yeah, I mean, does he feel the pressure from Penix?
Yeah.
He never usually plays well during primetime anyways, so there's that.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about his performance. I don't even know that he'll make it to Week 15, man. I feel like they might have to enlist someone else for some guidance.
That'd be crazy if that happened.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild with all the money they paid him.
No, that's true. That's true. All right. Browns and Broncos, Week 13, Monday Night Football.
Yeah, this one's really bad. I mean, the Broncos getting 2 of these primetime games is just a little much.
Yeah.
Because they also could be one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they've got, I don't know, they just don't really have any spectacular talent on that team anymore.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Like, I don't know. Like, we'll just have to see how Bo Nix is. Maybe they'll be good like in 2 to 3 years, but right now it just doesn't feel that way.
Like, who is going to be their star that they like show on the screen for those like games? Like, you know how like Saquon was always like the Giants, like
Quizler?
Yeah, like he was like
the
face of the team, you know? And so I'm just like wondering when the Broncos are playing, who's going to be that face that they like toss up in the matchup?
Undoubtedly be Bo Nix, but I don't think it'll be Bo Nix like it's not like he's a strong star.
Yeah.
It's literally more out of like necessity. Like they don't have anyone else. He's their new rookie young quarterback. So
right.
It's just gonna be him.
Yeah. All right, then we've got the Commanders and Eagles here in Week 11 Thursday Night Football. And now I will say they actually had a couple good games last year. I think it was one, it might have been like in November or December that it was like a 34-31 finish maybe, or something very tight where the Eagles ended up edging them out.
The Commanders played the Eagles close both times last year.
They did,
but
they
went to overtime once.
Yeah, I don't feel like that's going to happen again.
Yeah, I mean, but you should theoretically think the Commanders will be improved this year.
I mean, a little bit.
Do you think
A little.
Jaden Daniels will be better than Sam Howski?
I mean, yes. I mean, I do think that he'll be better than Sam Howell. I'm just a little bit concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, as a rookie, like I don't think he's going to put up C.J. Stroud type of numbers and just transform their offense entirely.
Well.
Yeah, and he doesn't even have like a whole lot of people to throw it to.
Yeah. No, I think the Commanders are in trouble, especially if Jaden Daniels still runs like he did in college, because I think he's very liable to get injured, as we've talked about here before.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's kind of a rough Thursday nighter.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Best games 2024?
Yeah, let's do it.
So week 1, Ravens at Chiefs. Obviously, AFC divisional rematch here. This is an interesting one. I'm a little saddened the Chiefs got it at home. Like, come on. Couldn't this have been in Baltimore? But I guess it was in Baltimore when they played in the playoffs. I just really want to see the Chiefs like lose a bunch of games this year.
Why did you want it to be in Baltimore so badly?
At this point, it's like a video game. I'm just trying to experiment. Like, okay, Patrick Mahomes has proved he could do it without like any good receivers. He's proved he could do it without an O-line, like whatever. Like, so I'm just moving the scales. Like, all right, let's make his defense as bad as possible. Okay, now let's make his O-line as bad as possible. Okay, well, now let's go have him go up against one of the best teams in the league, week 1, coming off of a Super Bowl win. But, I would rather have it be in Baltimore. Like, I just want to make it harder for him because I want to see how he can do. Like, it just, at this point, they clearly are the best. They've won twice in a row now. Like, there's no reason that they should not be challenged to the utmost extent.
They crumbled to the Lions last year in week 1 when they were at home. So
I know.
It's possible the Ravens could do the same to them.
I'm a little concerned. I don't think the Ravens are going to be that stellar this year. I mean, I think they'll probably win like 10 games or so, but this feels like a Chiefs win here.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Week 2, Bengals at Chiefs. Like, again, bro. Why do the Chiefs get all the good, hard games at home?
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be an exciting one, though.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow is back, dude.
I know.
Joe Shiesty.
Need my Burrow back in my life. Excuse me. He's getting me all choked up here. But yeah, no. Very excited for this one. I just feel, again, like it's a Chiefs win. Joe Burrow's beat like Patrick Mahomes 3 of 4 times. Mm-hmm. That stat, like, it's going to average out.
Yeah.
It's going to end up being like 3 of 5, and then it'll be like 3 of 6, before Joe Burrow gets another one probably.
I mean, yes, like I agree, but it feels like the NFL is just tossing like every tough team at the Chiefs here at the start of their season to try and like take him down. Maybe just try and, wear him out a little bit.
Like, would it be harder to like do these at the end of the season? Like, what would be the worst stretch of games for the Chiefs? Like, I feel like when you go to make the NFL schedule, again, you base it around the Chiefs. You do the Chiefs schedule first, you make it as hard as possible, and then you do everyone else's schedule, because that's how it should be.
I think they just like are trying to like basically get all of this hype over the first like few weeks of the season to get everyone like so enticed to get back into football.
Yeah.
And that's why they're tossing these crazy games.
Big boy games, yeah.
Yeah, like, Ravens and Chiefs week 1, Bengals and Chiefs week 2.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the Chiefs are bound to lose one of these games, but since they're both at home, it's really hard to envision that.
That's true.
If anything, though, I think it's going to be this Bengals one that they lose. But
I could agree with that. Yeah, it just feels like Joe's going to be so hungry when he comes back.
I know. I mean, I hope so. I love that guy.
Yeah.
All right, what do we have here next? Next notable game is Week 7, Chiefs at 49ers, so a Super Bowl rematch. Thankfully, this one's on the road.
Yeah. I don't know what else.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited. I mean, this is basically like Avengers Endgame here, because the Super Bowl is Avengers Infinity War, so this is a sequel to that. I really hope the 49ers can yank this one.
Dude, it would have been crazy if they tossed this in week 3.
Right? Just give them an absolute gauntlet of a schedule.
Yeah, like they got Ravens week 1, Bengals week 2, and
Bills week 4. Just keep lining it up. Texans week 5.
Dude, I wish they did do that, honestly. That's what the Chiefs need. They need to have that kind of craziness in order to finally be taken down, to have this fall from
Don't give them their bye week to like week 14.
Don't give them a bye week at all, bro. That's
Send them to London for a couple weeks.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only way.
Send them down to like Germany and then Mexico City and then Brazil as well. So they're like playing all these international games.
Well, that's basically what the Jets have going on this year. Not all the international games, but I don't know if you saw that the Jets have like a full-on 6 primetime games through the first 11 weeks.
I know. See, again, that's what happened last year. And then Aaron Rodgers got hurt, and that's why some of the Thursday night football games, the Black Friday game against the Dolphins, they were so poo because Aaron Rodgers was gone. Mm-hmm. So, man, they better make sure Aaron does not get hurt again, because then we'll have another crap load of bad primetime games again.
The entire season rests in Aaron Rodgers' hands, basically.
Yeah, pretty much does.
And
otherwise,
the future of the NFL.
Viewership seriously would dip tremendously.
Oh, dude, 100%, for sure.
So, yeah, there's week 7 for you. Cowboys at 49ers week 8. So, here the 49ers get 2 tough games back-to-back, but at home.
Yeah, kind of like the Chiefs, how they start off their season here.
Yeah, no, I think the 49ers should be able to take this one. I just, you got to gauge how heavy like the Super Bowl hangover will be, like the losing Super Bowl hangover. I mean, the Rams had quite the heavy one a couple years ago. You got Packers at Bears week 11. This is a big matchup. Jordan Love and Caleb Williams after he's gotten settled in a little bit in Chicago. So it would be a fun game to go to.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm excited for this one. And it's the Bears' first division matchup of the entire season, not till week 11.
That's wild.
I know.
They're all just crammed in the back end of it.
Yeah, they have a funky little, like, love that. They've got a funky end of their season there. They, I think it's Packers, Lions, Vikings, and then they face it might be, I can't remember who they face after that. Do you know? Is it like the Steelers or no, not the Steelers?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I mean, then they have to run it all back with all 3 of those teams again.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think like one of their last ones is maybe like Seattle or something like that.
That's winnable.
So, yeah, but they've got like for the last like 8 weeks, they've got like a whole bunch of 6 division matchups and 2 other teams in there.
We love that for our little Bears.
Yeah.
49ers at Packers week 12, so a rematch of one of the divisional round games of the playoffs here where the Packers almost pulled it off. This is one where I feel like the 49ers will drop. Packers want that revenge. They believe they should have won it last year, especially being up in Lambeau. Probably going to be getting a little nippy around this time of year as well. So, yeah, I like Packers here.
Yeah, I like that. It's certainly hard to pick the winners of these games, like, right now, though. Like, we haven't even, like, seen anything yet.
I know.
So it's like,
but it would be kind of cool to do that and would make some... Well, we'll do our, whole predictions on records and all that.
Yeah, that actually would be a great idea for an episode. We can, like, literally do, like, one episode now, or, like... I'm discussing like 2 team schedules, like the whole 49ers schedule and like the whole like Packers schedule, and be like predict
like division by division.
Oh yeah,
just
we
to
could
package
do that.
it a little bit.
Yeah,
nicer,
exactly. Yeah.
So we'll do
like
that probably since we have so many weeks until the start of the season. Just go division by division. Maybe not 8 straight weeks in a row, but
we'll break it up a little bit.
Yeah, of course. All right. Eagles at Ravens week 13, a little bird battle here.
Yeah, as long as the Eagles don't decide to just fly away from all conflict in the remaining like 8 weeks of the season.
This is about the time where they flew away.
Exactly. Yeah, but this should be a good game, assuming the Eagles still keep their crap together by this time.
No, I hear you on that. Yeah, this is a good one. I really don't know a winner here. I need to feel out both teams a little bit better. Then you got Ravens here again at Texans, a really nice game in Houston. And another revenge game from the divisional round. A revenge game I think that will be successful for
the Texans.
Yeah, for the Texans. I think that they could pull this one off. I think the Packers could pull theirs off. Mm-hmm. Although the Packers were a lot closer to being the Niners than the Texans were to being the Ravens. I think that both teams have kind of, I think the Texans came up a little bit. Ravens might have diminished a little bit. I'm just not big on the Ravens this year, especially the whole Zay Flowers thing. Yeah. Just left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know Zay Flowers is like, he's gonzo now, right? Or is he still there?
No, he's still there.
Oh, I thought he got booted. Oh, no. Odell. I don't know why I was
Odell,
mixing them
Odell
up.
did nothing.
Yeah.
So it's fine if he's gone. But yeah, I mean, Zay Flowers is still going to be probably good and productive. It just, I don't know, something just feels off.
That's fair. And Mark Andrews kind of coming back from the injury here. I mean, he's
Yeah.
only played like one game, I think, since he came back from that injury. So hopefully,
Yeah.
we'll see if he's fully recovered or if he might have some ailments still.
I think he'll be all right. I feel good about that.
Yeah.
Lions at 49ers, division or the conference championship game rematch from the NFC. Too bad it's not in Detroit, but yeah, man, this is going to be another great game, assuming everyone's still healthy by this time of year. Really looking forward to this one. I just hope that the Lions have enough gas by the end of the season here. I hope that they're still contending and everything because it's so hard to replicate what they just did.
Yep.
Go on a great run. What was it, 13-4, 12-5, whatever it was. Win a couple games in the postseason, blow a huge lead in the Super Bowl or in the NFC Championship game. To like recreate and get all the way back there, it's hard to do. So
It is, yeah.
yeah,
But this
I'm a
could
little worried.
be, yeah, I mean, I would be too. This could be a crazy game for them because, you're down to the final 2 weeks of the season here. And,
Yeah.
this can be like a make it or break it kind of game for the Lions, especially
Right.
because, the NFC North is going to be a really tough division
Yeah.
this year. And you might think like, all right, well, week 17 or 18, like we're hoping like we'll have a nice, like easy win. Like we should be able to coast in the playoffs. But no,
Yeah.
the Lions are going to be matched up against the 49ers, which is,
I mean,
no cakewalk.
especially with the Packers getting better, they might not be able to win their
Right.
division. So this could be a big game in terms of getting
Wild
into the
card.
playoffs
Yeah.
or seeding type purposes and all that.
Exactly, yeah.
All right. Now, let's rank every holiday game of the season here. All the holidays under the sun.
Yeah.
We
We've
got,
got
Christmas. Texas at Ravens, so the game that we were just mentioning there. Let's just read them all off, and then we'll kind of assort them, eh?
okay, that works. I kind of already assorted
Oh,
them
you
into
assorted
this.
them already.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So this was my 1 through 7 list
Of
here.
course, the Texans games are on the top here. Texans at Jets on Halloween.
But the Bears come third.
I don't even know if I would give the Bears that much credit, but yeah, Bears at Lions at Thanksgiving.
That will be a good game, man. That's the first time the Bears face the Lions for the season, and it's
But
like
what if the Bears are just bad?
all right, come on now. You think that they're going to be that bad with all this new action? They've got DeAndre Swift on there. It'll be nice to see him facing his former team and Caleb
Yeah.
matching up against the Lions for the first time.
It just depends how good Caleb is off of the jump.
Yeah, that's
You know,
true.
You got Dolphins at Packers on Thanksgiving. I remember this game was played on Christmas a couple years ago.
hmm
But yeah, I mean, that one's pretty good, I would say. Nothing too crazy. Don't believe in the Dolphins this year, so
Yeah.
I think the Dolphins will actually get probably blown out in this game.
You think?
I think so, yeah.
That would be a wild one.
Put it down right now.
Put it down right
Put it
now.
down right now.
Dolphins get blown out.
Yeah. They're going to be playing in the cold on Thanksgiving Day. No one wants to be there.
What if
Packers blew out the Lions on Thanksgiving this past year.
that? Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, they did.
Mhm. Yeah. Steelers at Chiefs on Christmas. This one's okay.
But not as good as the Texans and Ravens on Christmas, bro.
Oh, yeah. Not even close. I'll agree with that. I mean, Chiefs at Steelers or Steelers at Chiefs just feels like Broncos at Chiefs. Like, they're so similar, like defensively led teams. Like, it feels like a low scoring affair. Maybe the Steelers squeak one out here. Probably not, though. But yeah, it honestly just feels like the Broncos Chiefs game from last year that was ugly.
Yeah, well, if Mahomes gets sick again, maybe
That's
the
true.
Steelers will edge it out.
Yeah, I remember that was when he was sick. Giants at Cowboys Thanksgiving. Yeah, this one's kind of poo.
I think this was the first game of the first Sunday night or Monday night game of the 2023 season because you picked the Giants to win it and I picked the Cowboys and then I think
Yeah,
the
you're
Cowboys
right.
won 40-0. It was
I
either
know.
it was
a
either
bad
that
pick.
Sunday night or Monday night.
It was a bad pick.
Well, I mean, it was a fair pick because, the start of the season was just upon
Yeah,
us and we
it
didn't
was-
have any gauge of it yet. But I feel like it will be a similar situation this year in that the Cowboys
Yeah.
will just continue to pound the Giants because the Giants don't have anyone left.
I just can't believe in them until they show me otherwise.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we got Raiders at Chiefs bottoming out the list here on Black Friday. I honestly would put this much higher. I'd almost put this at like 4, the 4th best game. So I think
Really?
that Gardner Minshew will make the Raiders exciting and interesting to watch.
Maybe it's possible that, and I guess the Raiders could maybe pull off another victory the way
Yeah.
they did last year against the Chiefs.
Exactly. I mean, they got some good receivers. They got Brock Bauer. So I just think they're going to be more interesting than the Giants, Steelers. I think they might even be better than the Dolphins.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Probably not, though. That was a little too much. A little too much.
Yeah, a little bit bold. But one last thing for me. The Steelers don't face a division rival until week 11 either. And they have like the most brutal final 8 weeks of the season, bro. They've got Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and then their first non-division game here is against the Eagles.
That's wild, bro.
And then they're back to Baltimore, and then their second non-division game, Kansas City, and then their final division game, Cincinnati there. So for that 8-week stretch, they just face some really tough teams.
This might be the first year that the Steelers under Mike Tomlin have a losing record. Because they better hope that they've already won like
10 games.
7 or 8 games at this point, or maybe even more. Because I don't see them winning more than really 1 or 2 of these games. I think they drop both to Baltimore, both to Cincinnati, one to Cleveland, and then Kansas City, Philadelphia. They'll probably lose 2.
Yeah, but Cleveland is what could be their saving grace. I feel like.
Yeah, it could be for sure.
Unless
maybe
Joe Flacco comes in and just tears them up.
Yeah, he's gone.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, I think he's on somewhere else.
Well,
now.
I guess.
What team is he on?
Guess
Joe?
it probably won't happen then.
He's on the Colts now.
Oh wow, replacing Minshew.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So the best bets of our week recap. It's a lot of red there.
It's all red, bro. It was my first really bad week in a long time, dude. I had so much green lately, I got tired of seeing it and intentionally offered a full fade card.
Yeah, I mean, it does get a little monotonous, doesn't it?
Yeah, just winning so much. So, unfortunately, 6 of my best bets have failed, have not come to fruition now over the past week. OKC to win the finals. That's out. We had May 14th, the Pacers and the Knicks. Bet on Pacers money line. They didn't win that one, but they won the next 2.
Of course.
And then we had said over 217. Nope, that didn't happen. It soared under. Then we had the parlay of those 2. Of course, that didn't hit.
Yes.
Then I said Minnesota and Denver Minnesota at Denver on the 15th on, I think this was Wednesday last week.
Yeah.
Minnesota money line. Minnesota didn't win. They dropped 3-2 in the series, but then they won the next 2, and then I still had Denver to win the series. Denver didn't win the series. Minnesota did.
Bad timing, in some of these games here.
It was like every one of these things hit, but in like a game on the different day that I predicted.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's just bad luck.
Exactly.
It's just a bad break.
Yeah, but you still had a solid week, though.
Yeah, so the Nerfies for the Philadelphia Mets game hit at -115. St. Louis Angels, that one hit as well at -140. I believe who was pitching, that was Sonny Gray, Reed Detmers for Philadelphia. I think it was like Aaron Nola and Buto. Toronto, Baltimore, that game got postponed to the next day. Well, I mean, I guess it technically got postponed to like all the way, in July, like you were telling me. But
But the
same,
pitchers weren't the same.
Basically, what I look at is the pitchers. And so Bradish still pitched, but instead of Berrios, it was Kikuchi, I believe. So I didn't bet that one, so it just got voided. So I was happy about that because then it would not have been a Nerfie that hit it. There was a homer, the solo home run in the first inning.
That was a smart play.
I know.
Not to bet it again.
Got lucky.
Yeah.
Got unlucky, though, on this Oakland money line against the Houston Astros because they forced 10 innings. It's 1-1. They have runners on second and third with 1 out, I believe it was, and they couldn't knock someone in. I think one guy strikes out and the other guy grounds out or pops out to shortstop or some crazy bullshit like that. So unfortunately, Houston pulled it off 2-1 here, but at least it went to extra innings, so it was close. Like it was on the precipice of hitting.
Yeah. No, it was still a solid bet, and I know it didn't come to fruition there, but I still liked it.
Thank you.
All right. My best bets of the week for this coming week. Hopefully they're a little bit better than last week. Just to give a quick update here, the Pacers to win the finals at plus 11,000 was the bet that we took a few weeks back. It's now up to plus 3,000. I would recommend for any listeners who did bet this to take the cash out at this point.
Oh, most certainly.
You will probably have the most value on this cash out right now. It's probably, I'm just guessing or ballpark, but you'd probably be around like +4 units on this play, which is a great play. It's like hitting a +4 or 500 odds parlay. So we'll gladly take that. I just don't foresee them making it past Boston. So we're going to advise taking the cash out now.
Yeah, I totally agree on that one as well, especially before they lose like a game and then it goes all the way back up.
Exactly. All right, I do have, for my other best bets though, the Pacers and Boston for Game 1, which is tomorrow, Tuesday, May 21st, over 222 total points in the game. Pacers have a fantastic offense, and Boston does too. I really feel like this score total is too low for them. Pacers have been putting up 130, 140-point games, and I expect that Boston will end up beating them. So I really feel like this point total is too low here, so I'm going to hit the over. I'm also going to bet on Boston to cover the spread here. Boston -10, little 10-point spread at home. They've had more rest than the Pacers have. I mean, I think Boston's had like a good 6 days of rest, whereas the Pacers I think have only had 2 or 3. So Boston's going to be nice and healthy, and they're going to come in and they're going to beat the Pacers in this game, as much as I hate to say it.
Good stuff.
Then we've got Dallas and Minnesota. I'm going to bet on the under here, under 206.5. Both of these teams I think play really solid defense, and I like the under for this one, but I am going to take Dallas +4. I could see Minnesota pulling out a victory here, but I think it'll be a close game, and I like Dallas's talent enough to where I'm going to bet on them +4.
Awesome. I love to see it. Hopefully you have a more green week than last week.
It needs to be more green, yeah.
Here's what I'm ripping for all Tuesday. Everything's going off tomorrow, May 21st. We got 2 dogs.
2 underdogs?
I like the Reds at +100. You got Joe Musgrove coming off of an injury. Abbott, who's pretty nasty, pitching for the Reds. Then you got Milwaukee at Miami. I'm going to take Miami in the money line at +115. You actually probably could get that some better odds if you go on FanDuel. This is just straight from CBS Sports. Milwaukee's starting pitcher is this Gasser guy. I mean, what a name. His name is
Gasser.
Rob Gasser.
Does he throw gas?
He does throw gas, and he's had a great start to the year, but I think he comes down to earth here, and I don't think they pull this one off. And then I got not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 nerfies.
4 nerfies. Hopefully one of them doesn't get postponed this time.
Yeah, well, hopefully if it does, then it doesn't actually happen.
Yeah.
Seattle at New York here, so this is going to be Wu versus Clark Schmidt. Both have been pitching very well as of late. You got Chicago White Sox at the Blue Jays. This is Crochet versus Kikuchi, both really solid pitchers. You got the Rockies at the A's. Quantrill, who's been quite impressive as of late against Brooks, a newer guy who I think he's quite talented. Went 7 innings in his last showing, even though he gave up a few runs. And then, of course, the Rangers at the Phillies here. That's John Gray versus Ranger Suarez, 2 of the best pitchers to start the year so far this year.
Good stuff, dude.
Yeah, so yeah. Some good nerfies there. Probably all flowing around -110 to 130.
I like those bets. Could you come up with one on the spot for the Cubs game on Thursday this week? I'm going to the Cubs game on Thursday.
Oh,
it's at 1:20 p.m.,
yes.
A little afternoon action.
Holy cow.
And I wonder what you think we should bet on here. I know there probably aren't any odds posted, but do you think they're going to win this game?
Take the over.
The over?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, these pitchers...
Oh, do we already know who's pitching?
Yeah. It's going to be this Vines versus Kyle Hendricks. Darius Vines versus Kyle Hendricks. Darius Vines got 4.66 ERA, while Kyle Hendricks has a smooth 10.57 ERA, which is absolutely garbage.
I like
so
that.
I would take the over. The over probably is going to be like 9.5. So it's not great value, but yeah, I would probably take the over in that game. Pitching won't be great.
I dig it, dude. I'm going to have to toss some coin on that before making my appearance in the stadium.
I would, yeah, for sure.
All right, fan mail recap. We didn't really get any new fan mail from last week. Oh, unless did
your
we?
dad did write in explaining a little bit more about the starting pitcher situation.
Oh, okay.
And how they get called up from the minors. He explained it better than I did.
Okay.
So we'll rattle that off here. The reason why they didn't have them on the regular season roster is because of the fact that they can leave him off, and if they pull them up now, they will get one more year before he becomes a free agent. Which is why some pitchers can be rookies, even though it's their second year in the league.
Okay, got it. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So it's all very strategic as to why, because there's only so many roster spots, and sometimes they want to save the guys for later. Like Miami literally demoted their best pitcher that started this year back to AAA just because he was pitching so well, and they're like, all right, we just need to save you for when we're not horrible, because we are horrible right now.
Got it. Well, thank you for that insight, Papa Bear.
Yeah. So there you have it. Thank you guys as always for listening. We appreciate it. Anything else you want to add?
No, I don't think so. I'm not sure what the topic will be for next week yet.
No, I'm not sure either. We might just go crazy.
Go crazy?
Just random, just wild, just wacky.
Yeah.
Sporadic.
That would be exciting, yeah.
Just talk about anything.
Dude, we love that.
Yeah. So we'll see. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye now.